Hello everyone and welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're all doing good and well. So it's time for another new album review on the channel. This time I'm tackling the debut album from a thrash metal band called Electrocutioner. And this is their release False Idols, which came out on Friday the 13th of October. It's a self-released album and the album is 13 tracks and about 38 minutes in length. So obviously brand new to this band. This is their debut album after all. They are a three-man thrash metal band from New York. And just to start with, I'd say this is it's a pretty no-nonsense thrash/speed metal album, which whilst there's an element of sort of nuts and bolts thrash metal, you kind of know more or less what you're getting into. As soon as you hear the first 2 or 3 tracks, you kind of know what this album's going to be like. But I say that, there is enough creativity and some really good and interesting rhythms on this album that actually there's enough here to keep you on this thrash metal journey for the duration of the record. It's not a long album either, right? It's 38 minutes, and I found it was over pretty quick for me. So it certainly doesn't get boring really too much during the album. There is the odd interesting pause with some synth soundtrack-like tracks which come in here and there. And I have to say, I'm not quite sure they totally fit in with the overall album. I suppose they give it a little bit of an edge or an atmosphere, but I don't know whether, occasionally you get these tracks like Earthender and Plague Winds, which just appear and they don't sort of make much sense in the context of the whole album, but on their own they sound, interesting enough for me. I don't mind hearing a bit of that sort of a synthy kind of track, right? But yeah, on the whole, it's a pretty strong thrash metal album. I will say that definitely about as a debut album, pretty good and definitely holds promise, I'd say, for this band for the future on anything they go on to do. So okay, let's go into some of the tracks. Revenger is sort of the opening track after the first track, which is Earthender, which is the sort of that synth type track at the beginning. And Revenger is out of the gates, very fast-paced, thrash speed metal. Like I say, just no nonsense, but it's a really good track actually, just to sort of kick off this album and really get it into gear. The Guillotine, which is I think the 3rd track on this album, has an absolutely cracking guitar riff to start it off. And I don't know really how to describe it best, but it is just it's got a bit of groove to it. It kind of goes da 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 da. It's really, if there was a list of best thrash riffs in 2023, I'm pretty sure that might make my top 10 right now at this point in time. Awesome riff. And it goes on that track into other really good guitar riffs and other good moments as well. I do like Mark Pacino's sort of thrash metal vocals, which are kind of raw and rough, but very effective for this type of an album. Throne Possessor is a 2-minute sort of pure thrash track on here that I also quite enjoyed. Other notable tracks for me include the likes of 7 Lamps of Fire and Asleep at the Wheel. Asleep at the Wheel in particular has a lot of memorable lead guitar moments and is generally just another excellent sort of speed metal type song on the album. Another highlight for me is Children of the New Dawn, with yet again, I think, some of the more creative guitar riffage on the album, and a bit of a Kill 'Em All feel to it, a Kill 'Em All vibe, Metallica Kill 'Em All that is, with the style and overall approach to this particular song I found with its arrangements. And overall, therefore, I think we have ourselves a very good thrash album. I'm somewhere between a 7 and an 8 out of 10 for this debut album. As a debut, it's very, very good, very worth your time. If you're inclined towards thrash or speed metal, I think you'll enjoy this. So yeah, I think this is a 7.5 out of 10 for me for this review. So thanks very much for dropping by, for watching this one. Let me know if you've listened to this debut album. If you haven't, do go check it out. Like I say, hopefully you might enjoy this if you're into thrash. Otherwise, from me, the next video coming up on the channel continues the horror segment, the horror season of videos with Final Destination films ranked. Be ready for that one coming up Wednesday this week. Otherwise, from me, take care everybody and bye for now.